What if advanced technology capabilities connected you with healthcare resources, help measure your health, and ultimately enable you to achieve optimal well-being? What if by tracking health measures and activities over time, individuals could make lifestyle changes to prevent or delay the onset of chronic disease? Greetings, everyone, and welcome from the Technology Association of Georgia. It's Tuesday, June 7th, 2016, and this is Tech Talk. I'm your host, Frank Baia. On this edition of Tech Talk, we ask the question, do you know your BioIQ? You should, because BioIQ is evolving the way health measurement works, seamlessly connecting people, making testing more accessible, creating more insights for people, and more touch points with health service providers. Targeted educational programs, automatically tracking incentives, providing updates on program status and reports in real time, and more. Participants receive targeted recommendations to improve their health, along with customized education, health coaching, and depending on individual need, programs for disease management, smoking, and diet weight loss. Up to the Tech Talk, Denise Adamson, Corporate Vice President, BioIQ. Denise earned a Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology at the University of Tennessee in Memphis and has over 20 years of healthcare sales in diagnostic, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare technology. She is one of 14 women chosen by LeadStar to attend the 2016 Women's Leadership Forum and represents BioIQ on the Georgia Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, TechBridge, and Technology Association of Georgia. Can this exciting and evolving technology provide added value to existing screening tools and lab reports? Will the focus on year-round access to personal programs and educational tools drive participant engagement well down and well beyond an annual lab report? And more important, by tracking health measures and activities over time, individuals make lifestyle changes to prevent or delay the onset of chronic disease and conditions including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, hypertension, and more. What's your BioIQ? Find out as we Tech Talk the technology that just may be the answer to your optimal well-being with Corporate Vice President, BioIQ, Denise Adamson. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Denise, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Frank. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
BioIQ, certainly one of, I would think, early pioneers of connecting people and information as it relates to their health care, keeping up with testing, and a lot of buzz right now about electronic records and the things that are happening with the medical industry, the medical profession, both the private sector as well as it relates to individuals and, of course, now even companies, as I'm sure you guys well know. Let's talk a little bit about the background of BioIQ and maybe what got you started and kind of bring us up to date of where you guys are now.
Wow. You know what? We started in 2005 out in Santa Barbara, California, which is a great place to start a business. We started, though, as a result of a tragedy that happened to our founder and CEO, Justin Belante. He had an academic mentor and really good friend that had a massive stroke and passed away, and it was discovered that this gentleman actually had undiagnosed type 2 diabetes. So Justin was determined to make something positive, out of this, and he actually dropped out of graduate school to start BioIQ, and we started back then just direct to consumers, trying to make it easy for people to get easy screening tests that would identify things like type 2 diabetes. Over the years, we've evolved, and now we predominantly work with large employers and health plans, but the mission's the same. We want to make sure that people can connect to healthcare services by utilizing technology that allows them to get those screening tests that really can impact the quality of their lives.
Talk a little bit about what's the interface. How do with nowadays they've got wearables technology that allows me to monitor just about everything, probably more than I need to know, quicker than I need to know it, as far as my heart rate and all kinds of things, calorie burning and that kind of thing. Is that where you are now? Is that where it's evolving? What's the interface between the client and the capability of getting the information you're talking about?
Right now, it's mobile optimized, so anybody can access their employers or their health plan screening portal that we set up specifically for them. They can access that through their smartphone, through their tablet, and that certainly is the way that we, ingest healthcare information today is, through our technology, and you only have to look around at a restaurant and everybody's got their smartphone out, so sure. It's the easiest way. We also work with a partner who provides a mobile application, and that ties right into your question around the wearables. So, everybody's got their Fitbit, and being able to, monitor things like their weight, their activity, and their nutrition very simply through a mobile application to kind of help keep them on track, and also to be able to provide educational information, things like workout videos to help people stay on track once they understand what some of their risks that they need to work on to improve. So those are some of the ways that we use technology to reach our participants.
Now, is it so much now, as they say, self-directed healthcare? Give me a scenario, because I think our listeners and I myself are understanding the overall concept, the creative mission of what you're trying to accomplish. Talk a little bit now about, is it something that's isolated, and as you mentioned, a health portal is individual, and it's part of a greater health portal that's part of the company I work for? Maybe go into a little bit about how does that, the mechanics of that, if you will.
Yeah, so if you're an employee at a large company, somebody like Jack in the Box or Bank of America, those are two of the companies that we work with, and their employer comes to us with their ideas on how they want their lifestyle management program to work. We reach out and make it possible for their employees to be screened. First and foremost, that's foundational, and we want to make that accessible. So maybe they can't do screening at an on-site event at work, but maybe they could visit a pharmacy or a lab location to get their blood drawn so that they can be part of the program. And then the next steps are things like targeted education that, again, is available online through a laptop computer or through their smartphone. And based on the biometric screening, health risk assessment, we can help direct people to next steps and kind of orchestrate those handoffs so that if we do identify a risk, we certainly want to refer people back to their physician, but we want people to stay engaged year-round, so we call that sustained engagement. We want to help provide additional resources outside of the physician's office to help them learn more about the diseases that they might be at risk for, and help them learn how they can minimize their risk and improve their overall health.
Well, one of the things we hear so much is the competition as it relates to not only finding good people but keeping good people. Obviously, this provides idealistically keeping everyone healthy and in the state of well-being from a performance standpoint and longevity, hopefully. Not to be crass about it, but having a long-term employee is better than a short-term. But that said, the other side of it is, I'm guessing that a lot of employers see this as a recruitment benefit, and being able to say we not only do this, we not only do that, but we provide this type of information and education for you.
It's a must these days. You're 100% right that potential candidates are looking to see what the employer offers, not only pay and vacation, but what type of health plan, and then what type of wellness and lifestyle management program is on board. And you're 100% right. Certainly, employers are looking to reduce their costs associated with health insurance, but also long-term employers. I mean, they've made an investment in that employee, and they want to keep them around as a happy ambassador of their company as long as they can, and also improve their productivity. It's a really impacts not only what they do at work, but their entire quality of life, and also a lot of times the family is involved as well in these wellness programs and initiatives.
No, I might be touching a sensitivity here, but I think a lot of our listeners would want me to ask the question, and that is about security. About the information that you're putting. I mean, it's like I'm not familiar with it, although I've heard about it. I haven't had an experience to actually see it, so I would ask that I get an opportunity. Maybe you and I will have an opportunity after our conversation. You can show me how the site goes and how it all works. But that said, I guess what I'm curious about is that I'm posting up symptoms. I'm posting up certain criteria that I'm thinking are giving me potentially diabetes. Am I putting in information that I can be confident that obviously it's going to be kept secure, that I want to keep that just not only between, I don't even want my employer necessarily to know it, I just want it between myself and that particular page to keep track of the information and provide the advice. Talk a little bit about, I guess, the issue of information exchange and security.
That's a great question, and certainly with what we see every day in the news, security is a chief concern for a lot of employer programs, and certainly for their employees. So first and foremost, that result information from that employee is certainly not shared with the employer. It is only available to that particular employee through our secure dashboard, and we take compliance to all security measures extremely seriously at BioIQ. So we participate in things like ethical hacks, which we've passed with flying colors, and all of today's security features. We've 100% comply with all those. It's a big concern, and again, something that we take very seriously. So the employer can get an aggregate report that shows what their overall population health looks like, but they can't see that individual's particular results or risks. And you're right, they go online, they could take a health risk assessment, but they take that securely, and again, the information's only available back to that employee, not at an identified level to the employer.
It's such a powerful thing, and so much of what, almost everything now is a transfer of trust, and so, in order, I'm assuming for BioIQ to be effective, you've got to be truthful with it in order for it to understand and provide you the kind of direction or kind of advice or kind of input that you really want to get out of it. But that said, the other side of it is that there is the issue of trust, and so the great part about it is doing it independently, I think, is even more dangerous. I'm not talking about employers, although that may be the case. I'm talking about, I think, so many people, you mentioned cell phones. I think a lot of my friends automatically go to one of the online directories, if you will, or information portals, and end up, hearing of symptoms and having, so many things sound so much similar to, a headache, a neck ache, or whatever. It all sounds like the same. I've got that, and I think it would be obviously a lot more dangerous to do it independently than it would be to do it in an environment where there are actual testing and control measures to deal with the facts and deal with the information. I'm being, one of the things, Denise, I constantly say when we talk about these things, Tech Talk deals with not any one vertical, it deals with horizontal. So we talk about every technology, whether it's fintech or health IT or internet security,
right,
on and on. And so I come to these things as a tourist. I think I serve my listeners well because I'm pretty much a Luddite when it comes to most of these things. So I'll stumble across and ask questions that sound kind of primitive, and I'm sure they're below your pay grade. But I think a lot of our listeners are saying, well, how is this different than WebMD or something? And so maybe I'll even cast that out to you a little bit and say, how is it different? How does this work better than, say, me just going online and sourcing a symptom?
Yeah, well, first of all, if you're sourcing, a symptom, you don't know if the information that you're getting back from your internet search, if that's been, clinically proven. You don't know oftentimes, how current that information is as well. So, the first thing that we do with biometric screening is take a look at, blood pressure, BMI, height, weight. We also look at things like glucose and lipid panels to give a foundational, view of what risks might be, identified there. And again, the information that we provide back is clinically curated, very up to date and updated at least 2 to 3 times a year. And then the other component, of that information, we use things like NCQA certified health risk assessments and HealthWise libraries to help people learn. But the other component that I want to mention is that in any case, we also want to refer people back to their physician when we have identified a risk. We provide a physician discussion form along with those results that an individual could download so that if they do need to see their physician about something that's been uncovered in the screening process, they know how to approach it with their physician so that they can be effective when they have that appointment with the physician and help them understand what the context of the screening that took place was, and so that they can develop a plan to minimize the risks that have been identified. And then our job is to help keep those employees engaged year-round, so they're seeing their physician if there's been a risk identified, but we're still providing them education and, again, ways to track and monitor their overall health so that they can, live the healthiest life possible.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the company itself and how did it choose Atlanta? Because I know that obviously you've opened up an Atlanta office. I think a lot of our listeners, we certainly understand the incredible growth that we've seen in health IT over the last decade here in Atlanta, but I think that market is popping up in a lot of places. Why Atlanta, and why did you decide to open up an office here?
TAG had a little bit to do with that, but first we have our West Coast office in Santa Barbara, and we really felt like we needed an East Coast presence to better serve our customers on this side of the country. But you mentioned the evolving, healthcare IT market was very appealing to BioIQ. We had the opportunity to establish an office here in Atlanta and attract that local technology talent, and also leverage the strong healthcare market that we have here in Atlanta. So those are a few of the factors that went into deciding to open the office here. And TAG's role in fostering innovation and stimulating that tech-based economy that's important in Georgia was really pivotal in us choosing to make Atlanta our second home.
Well, you mentioned a East Coast foothold. I guess you must have obviously some Atlanta people that you're working with. Do you work with local Atlanta employers?
We do. We have dozens of employers across the state, and then some of the more recognizable employers that we've worked with here in Atlanta are Southern Company and Anthem Health Plan, which is the largest payer in the country.
That's great. Well, and I guess probably the next question would be maybe a few projects that you've actually gotten involved in and have completed or plan to complete soon?
We have a couple of things. I wish we had all day to talk about some of the cool things that we've gotten to do, but a couple that I can think of is one of the largest retailers in the world came to us, and we supported over 1,400 events and screened over 63,000 people across the U.S. We utilized 4 of our staffing partners to get that all done in one technology platform, which is BioIQ's technology platform. So that's something that we're really proud of, and really what it led to next is something else that we're excited about, and again, really proud to be a part of, because it led to a lead screening pilot launch in Flint, Michigan.
Okay, let's talk a little bit now about, obviously it's pretty self-evident the impact that it has on people's lives, but let's talk about the impact that it has on your employers, your own employees rather. Let's talk a little bit about the culture of BioIQ. What's it like to be part of, I think, a purpose-driven organization with such great technology capability, but is doing so much to help other people?
It's extremely rewarding, and I think we focused on our coordinated execution of these programs with our employer groups and with our health plan groups across the country. The Santa Barbara office is definitely got a laid-back, fun California culture vibe. The Atlanta office has that healthcare technology culture, and we're super excited about the Brave Stadium that's going up really a stone's throw away from our Atlanta office, so we're looking forward to enjoying that. We're participating right now in a global corporate challenge, so we're having a little fun with our teams and being competitive, but also focusing on staying healthy ourselves. So it's a great culture. The mission that we have, the origins of the company, is so important to us, and really it's a privilege to go out every day and do something that positively impacts other people's lives. So we're growing faster and faster every day, and it's an exciting environment to be part of, and I'm pleased to be part of BioIQ.
Well, it sounds, you can hear the passion in your voice. Obviously, you're in a great vertical. The excitement that's happening in healthcare, not only the innovation and the evolution of the technology capabilities, but obviously the positive impact that it's having on our health and our longevity as far as quality of life and longevity of life. Well, as you mentioned, and we're going to invite you back, Denise, there's a lot more I'm sure we could talk about because there's so much you guys are involved in that I think are impactful not only as it relates to your company and your vertical, but things that are happening in the evolving technology sphere, just in innovation in general. But unfortunately, we're quickly ran out of time. Thank you so much for taking a few moments to join us today for a few minutes today on Tech Talk.
Thanks so much, Frank. Listen, for more information, just visit us at bioiq.com.